What's up, A to Z Sports, Nashville, live on a Thursday morning. I am Easton Freeze, joined by JT Runke. It's a JT.
Third String Thursday.
That's right, thank you. It is a day to talk about Xavier Restrepo. That is all this week. All roads lead to Xavier Restrepo. Apparently, it is what the people want to talk about. We're going to spin it into a larger conversation about what is best for the Tennessee Titans this weekend, because it's not just about giving the people the red meat that they want, the fodder with which to lead our talk shows with. No, it is about what is best for Cam Ward and company. It is immediately. No, yeah, yes, it is what we're doing. Delinquent third string Thursday at that. I won't front. It is. We're gonna try to make this a productive conversation, but it is gonna revolve around Xavier Restrepo. It's also gonna revolve around Elikaya Manor and Chimere Dike and Cam Ward and the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to talk about all of it and what the Titans front office, what this Titans coaching staff should do in this game. I have an argument around those things that I just mentioned that I'm going to write about at AtoZSports.com today. But generally speaking, I think that there is a very clear win-win-win opportunity here for the Titans. So we'll dive into all of that. We'll get your thoughts, maybe your grumblings, your complaints in the chat. We want you to jump in the chat and let us hear it on Xavier Restrepo and all of the things we're talking about today. But first, JT, tell the folks what they need to do.
Yeah, good morning, Easton. Good morning, A to Z crew. Good to see you guys again. Listen, I can't front. I am here this morning because Easton wants to talk Xavier Restrepo. I'm being held against my will here to talk about Xavier Restrepo once again. But I do think we're going to have a very productive conversation about what this means for the wide receiver group as a whole. And I'm excited to do it yet again today. Good to see all of you guys here in the chat. Couple things we need from you guys before we get rolling on a Thursday. First and foremost, I need you guys to lock in and like the show. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button, smash that like button, destroy that like button. Do all the things to the like button that are PG and safe for work, I guess, while we are on the air. While you are also down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the content we are bringing you here at the A to Z Sports YouTube channel. And then on Facebook, if you're over there, hit that like button. Make sure you've also liked the page and also hit share with a friend so that another Titans fan or friend of yours can join the conversation this morning. As Cap says, the X news was yesterday. Oh no, my friend, the Xavier Restrepo news is going to be evergreen the rest of this week.
That's right.
And then there is more. There's more.
And then next weekend. And
then
next
more
year.
To the conversation, I will say, because we heard from Cam Ward. We heard from Xavier Restrepo yesterday. So, those are important things to get to because I think it's going to lead into a bigger conversation about chemistry and all of those things. And once again, bringing up an argument I made this past off season. And so, I think there's more to talk about. And I think you guys are going to find what we are talking about today pretty interesting. So, with that, Easton, let's get going.
First impromptu question for the chat of the day. I'm seeing a handful, not all of you, but a handful of you furious about the Xavier Restrepo conversation, which, sorry, bad news for you, is about to happen. But if you are somebody that is mad that that is the topic of today's show, let us know what you'd rather us be talking about, because I'm very curious what you're dying to hear. With that, we'll get started. Welcome into the A to Z Sports Morning Show live on a Thursday morning, powered by BTA Sports. Every weekday morning at 8 Central Time, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Our links are tweeted out segment by segment on our Twitter feed at AtoZSports. So follow us there and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for all of our Titans coverage. Also follow us on Google with the link that JT Please will send in the chat right now. That's a new thing. You can follow people on Google. So do that for A to Z Sports. It will help us and it will help you get the content that you want in your feed more directly. Got to thank our sponsors for making the show happen and helping out you all at home. Wilson County Hyundai. Make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Gallatin at boterocarts.com. And Window Nation Take advantage of their year-end sale through November. 50% of all window styles, 50% off of all window styles. You could get 0% interest financing for up to 5 years. And with that, JT, let's dive into our conversation. So
I do, yeah. Real quick, we do have some answers to
please. Let's hear it.
Your question. The first one I saw is, what happened to the underrated corner from Iowa? I forgot his name, but he hardly allowed a pass last year. I believe you're talking about Jamari Harris. Jamari Harris has not played for this team since.
He's not been on this team.
He's not been on this team since mid-August. So
I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah. Swan says, if we put X in, does that ruin our chance at the playoffs?
Can only help. Can only help. I do
love
love the.
Aaron says, I want all news on what's going on in the Titans building. I need restored faith in that part. This is the news that is going on in the building. Like,
yeah,
the wide receiver and their issues this week are the issues, I think. Mm-hmm. Another person just asking the question, any chance Amy Armstrong sells the team? Legit serious question.
Legit serious answer. No.
So.
0% chance. Speaking of 0% chance, I do love the playoff leverage graphics that come out around this time of year, where it's like, this weekend, if this team wins, their playoff chances become this, and if they lose, their playoff chances become this. And when those first started popping up a couple of weeks ago, it was like every team, the game they were playing that week mattered something. But for the Titans, it was like, win, 0%. Lose, 0%. Either way, you're not making it, buddy, which is a fun place to be, in the middle of October when I first saw these. Let's look at the transactions that have gone on this week to begin, JT. We've got that graphic we can go ahead and throw up there. The Titans have made a couple of moves at receiver, some expected, some unexpected. Calvin Ridley, with his broken leg, heading to IR. His season is over. That means that James Prochet is being called up to the active roster, as one would expect. Do we have that graphic still? Do we not?
I do, but I am stuck on the A to Z prime time.
Let me.
Thank you.
That. But now we have to hang on.
Hold on. This is all.
Pay no attention to the men behind
here. Hold on. This is what we're talking about. The Titans made the following roster transactions, as he was saying, right there. There we go. Boom. Now we're good.
There we go. So, but anyways, let's pull that back up so I can get these names right. Because honestly, I've already forgotten who these guys are that they've added to the practice squad. Lance McCutcheon and Christian Wilkerson, of course. I've always said it's Christian Wilkerson time in Tennessee. And now it is. I saw them both out at practice yesterday. They were wearing jerseys that didn't have their names on the back of them because they just showed up. One of them was wearing 22 because, sure, why not? Let's just start giving out Derrick Henry's number to people. And one of them was wearing 11, which we already have an 11. That's Van Jefferson. Also, it's just now dawning on me. They gave out AJ and Derek's number to these guys. I guess those are just practice squad jerseys that haven't been worn in a while, 11 and 22. Those are the guys that are now in competition with Xavier Restrepo on the practice squad. So in summary, the active roster receiver situation is Alec Iamaner hurt. Chim Dike hurt to some extent. We'll talk more about that in a second. Mason Kinsey. James Prochet now, who just got called up. And then, so there's those four guys that are healthy. And then on the practice squad, you got Lance McCutcheon, Christian Wilkerson, and Xavier Restrepo. So 7 total guys in some form or fashion available that aren't on IR, that haven't been released and sent to another team. And the Titans are going to have to figure out, of those 7, who are the 5 that they have active on game day. And I want to then spin that towards, okay, where's the injury situation on the 2 best guys in this group, Chim Dike and Alec Iamaner. Alec, with the hamstring, was able to return to the game on Sunday and play through it, but as is the case with a lot of these soft tissue injuries like that in-game, sometimes you can push through them and you're like, oh, the guy's fine, but then you realize once they actually cool down and the muscle gets tight for the first time, that changes things. So you can kind of push through it in the moment, but he is now in a situation where rest and recovery is the only thing that's going to get that muscle back in shape. And the indications that I have heard, as well as I saw Paul Koharski tweeting this, it sounds like Alec Iamaner playing this week is a longer shot than Chim Dike. Alec was out of practice yesterday. Now it's a Wednesday practice report, so take that with a grain of salt. Chim Dike was a full participant in practice on Wednesday. What does that mean? Well, it means that Chim Dike is dealing with an injury that is purely pain tolerance. And we could have guessed that, right? A chest contusion, it's a bruise. It's just how bad does your chest hurt and how bad does it hurt to get hit in the chest? I'm sure really, really badly, even though he's practicing in full. I'm sure it doesn't feel good at all, but he's doing it anyways. Alec Ironman not practicing. Again, with these soft tissue injuries, I don't know if that's indicative entirely of, oh, well, then he's not going to play. Because all that matters is not stressing the muscle, resting and recovering the muscle. So it's the kind of injury that you can not practice, and then get to Sunday and potentially play because they're just trying to build days worth of not practicing on that leg. All of that is to say, both of these guys banged up in some capacity. And if they are both banged up and let's just say one of them can't go, the math on this is you have 2.5 healthy active roster guys. Oh, by the way, my bad to Van Jefferson, whose name I've just completely left out of this conversation.
I was
Van
wondering.
Jefferson also chime in, please. Correct me on this. Van Jefferson.
I thought you said him, but then the chat said you didn't, and I didn't.
Something terrible happened to Van yesterday that you guys don't know about. No, Van is also healthy and available. So just kidding. There are 5 guys on the active roster right now, if you include Jim Dike and Elikai Manor. But with those guys banged up, the math becomes, okay, well, maybe you have 4 guys, maybe you have 3.5 guys, because maybe Alec can't go and Jim Dike can, but he's a little banged up. So what does that mean for potential call-ups this weekend? How do you do the math on that? And we'll talk through my argument on that front once we hear from, let's start with Cam. And we asked Cam yesterday at the podium about Restrepo. We asked him about the importance of chemistry. Here's what he had to say.
Feel like this might be the week we see your buddy Restrepo?
I mean, we're going to see, man. I mean, I know A7 going to be ready. I got chemistry with him, so, if he get a shot this week, I make sure, he'll know what to do, and if he get the ball, he's going to show y'all what he can do.
How much has chemistry mattered as a rookie? We talked so much about it in the preseason, developing those chemistry with the receivers. Does it matter as much as you thought it would, or is it maybe a little bit overplayed?
No, it matters a lot. And I had chemistry with every receiver in my past, from high school all the way to every stop I made in college. And it's because it's more of a freelance we can play with. I don't care how you run the route. If I know you're going to be there at this time, when I'm at this point in my drop, the ball's coming your way. And we have that here. The only bad thing is just the injuries that we dealt with. You kind of lose chemistry on guys just because they get called up and you ain't got a lot of reps. So that's something that you got to get in practice.
We're going to play Xavier Restrepo's answer to this same question, as well as talk about the importance of chemistry between these 2 former college teammates. But first, I'm going to tell you about our friends at Window Nation real quick. They're running an end-of-year sale. It is a 50% off sale. Ooh, and we get the fun one this morning. How about that? 50% off if you call 866-90Nation today or go to windownation.com. 50% off of all window styles. You could also get 0% interest financing for 5 years. Again, this end-of-year sale only runs through this month, so you have like 10 days left to take advantage of that. Get on it now. Austin's windows are coming in, which he ordered from Window Nation next week.
He's not just taking the couple days off next week around the show because of Thanksgiving and whatnot. No, he's taking off because he's getting new windows and he wants to stare at those windows for 48 hours straight.
That's right.
Just ogling
happy with them like an old man. Listen, new windows can revolutionize the way that your home feels. It can change the way that you have energy impact on your home. Go ahead and replace those old windows that you have, whether they're builder grades or they're custom built. Get some high quality custom built windows from Window Nation. They measure 3 times to ensure your windows fit perfectly and keep your home comfortable year round. And the installation crew finishes the job in 1 day or less, so you can enjoy the rest of your summer, or if this is outdated, or winter without any disruption. Which, now that I'm reading this, 1 day or less, and Austin's taking off 2 days for windows next week. Interesting, Austin. It's in the ad read, you fraud. Go to Window Nation or call 866-90Nation today to take advantage of this deal. Okay.
I told you he needed he needs like 48 hours to just.
Oh, he needs one of those days. It's just to stare at him. Okay.
Yeah, to look at the silver in the windows, because he keeps telling me that there is silver. Also brought to you by our friends at BTA Sports. BTA, better for betters. Thursday night football tonight. Buffalo and the Davis Mills-led Houston Texans. That line currently on some books is at 5.5. Does BTA maybe have a
Houston? Where's this at?
I believe it is in Houston.
Okay.
I think so.
With that number, I would assume it is. But
yeah, BTA maybe has a little bit of a different line there. Maybe think that this game might be closer than it appears right now to the sports books, but
how do I see that line, JT? How do I know what they
You got to download the BTA Sports app, and when you do, use
so.
code ATOZSports when you download the app, or click that link in the show description or right below the title on Facebook, and that gets you a 14-day free trial to try it out tonight for the Buffalo-Houston game. Gets you this weekend, and also gets you next weekend and Thanksgiving as well, because Lord knows we're coming up on Thanksgiving, which is also one of the most profitable weeks of sports betting for myself and Easton.
Indeed.
Got to use BTA Sports, $79.99. Then after that 14-day free trial, gets you the full year. That's 12 months. So the rest of this season and all the way up until November the 20th of next season to use their app and enjoy all of the new features that they are going to grandfather you into as they build up their app and make it even better than it already is for you. BTA Sports, better for bettors.
All right, that's more than enough ad reading on our part. I'm going to send this question in the comments so we can get down to brass tacks. How much will Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo's college chemistry matter on an NFL field on a scale of 1 to 10? We're looking for a scale of 1 to 10. How much does that chemistry matter on the NFL field to you? While you are answering that, here is Xavier Restrepo himself yesterday in the locker room answering the question about chemistry.
I mean, yeah, I think it's always a good thing to have, a relationship with quarterback, receiver, or even tight end or running back, even on the defensive side. Chemistry is what's important, So, again, like I said, if my number's called, Cam knows I'm ready, and everybody else knows I'm ready as well.
JT, I'll send you the comments. What are people saying about the importance of chemistry between Ward and Restrepo should they get on the NFL field together?
Yeah, so on a scale of 1 to 10, Joshua says 1, Rooney says 0. We have a 2, a 4, a 0.5, 0, 3, Ashley 6, Mr. Clean says 6, Corey says 5, Titans Kyle says 3.69, nice. Tall Texan says 0. If it mattered, they wouldn't have people named Kinsey and Prochet active. So fair enough there. Chemistry says a 10 there. Yuri says 10. Bork says 10. Cam can quickly see Restrepo isn't open and move on to his next.
Come on, man. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Burning Devil says 8. Depends on the defense. Johnny says 6 because he is used to Cam's ball, but it's a new offense. Nick with the one I will not read there. Chem 0. Cat says 9. It's the funny number. It's the funny number these days. It's a decimal. It's a 6 and it has a decimal and it's the rest of it. Tom says 2. 7 plus X has sure hands. Malachi says 6. Cam will look at him before he looks at the other call-ups. Jeremy with a 4. King VC says 5.5, which, by the way, King VC also with the super chat says lock in, like the show.
Thanks,
Your
King.
reminder in the middle here to like the show. Looking at the like number and looking at how many are watching on Facebook right now, huge indifference there. There's a huge difference between the between.
I didn't know if it was huge difference or huge indifference.
No, sorry,
Good
huge difference
clarification.
in the like to viewer ratio. So Facebook friends, get up,
Please.
lock in, like he says, like the show, please.
It's very easy.
Very, very easy. Yes. Easton, your answer to this question?
An 8. I think that it's pretty daggum important. I think when you hear both Cam and Xavier answer the way that they did, I think that's confirmation of the idea that these guys being on the same page from having thousands of reps together in their lives matters, especially when, listen, this Titans team as a group is not getting separation on a consistent basis at all, even though they have guys with the speed to do so. That was a big conversation on the front end of this season, and I was kind of thinking about this yesterday, actually, because I was listening to another podcast in the market talk about this. about how separation just is not there for Cam Ward. But coming in, we were talking about how, hey, team speed is clearly a focus for this group. They're trying to get guys in that will offer that. They're trying to add Chim and Ellick and these guys that can run 4-3, 4-4. Let's get some guys that can actually run out there. And it just goes to show how much more there is to separation in the NFL than run fast. It's route craft atop everything. Being fast is important, and it's going to be what allows you to separate downfield, and that's part of the reason why like Chim and Ellick have some deep touchdowns this year. But in the short and intermediate area, that's something that actually has a lot more to do with the way that you run your route and the polish of your craft than it does with how fast you are. I mean, quickness is a big part of it, to be honest with you. And being fast does not necessarily mean that you are quick. All of that is to say, when I see plays like the one that we debated all day long on Tuesday happen last week, where Mason Kinsey and Cam Ward just aren't quite on the same page, and it's an explosive touchdown that gets left off the board because of a miss, that's the kind of thing I look at and say, at this point, if we're going to be this bad as a group, why not get the guy in there that I know is on the same mental wavelength as Cam? Because they have connected 1,000 times in their lives, and Cam Ward and Mason Kinsey have connected tens of times in their lives, and that does matter. And while maybe there's more versatility, and maybe even think that Mason Kinsey is just flat out a better receiver than Restrepo by however a little bit, to whatever margin you want to quantify that as being, I don't care at that point. Like when we're shopping in this department of the store, just get me the guy that has chemistry above the guy that might be slightly better or slightly more versatile. And so that's why I want to see Xavier Restrepo this weekend, is because I think that chemistry is something that will show itself in some capacity.
Yeah, and here's the issue, right? Because what comes down to it, right? You want to see that there's really nothing to lose. We can talk also about how they're playing the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming off a grueling, pretty poor loss where Sam Darnold throws 4 interceptions and they still only lose by 2. So that one's got a sting there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come in pissed off. They're already 13.5-point favorites
on the road
against the Tennessee Titans here. Yeah, and Burning Devil says we are 1-9. We can't get any worse. And
you can be 1-10, and then 1-11, and then 1-12, and 1-13.
Like I understand like that, but then you have to also bring into the question, well, this coaching staff doesn't really feel that way, not doing things just to do things. But then I asked them, it feels like they're kind of mailing it in anyway, so might as well just do it. That is where we are right now. And I look at this chemistry, and so for me, I think it's probably closer to a 6 for me, because there are still the chemistry will be better with him and Cam Ward, but you still got to get open. And I don't know if I believe that these Titans wide receivers really have the opportunity to I don't know if they'll have the opportunity to really get open right now against this Seattle defense and what they're going to be able to do. A Seattle defense that limited Devontae Adams, of all people, to 1 reception last week. And so it still does matter, though. That's why I put it at a 6, because it's going to be a really, really tough matchup for them. But then again, you also look at what chemistry can do for a team. And I go back to something I wrote this offseason about how this is pretty similar to what we saw in Denver between Bo Nix and Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin was supposed
Your
to be...
Your favorite boy.
Troy Franklin. Favorite boy. Troy Franklin was supposed to be a day 2 kind of pick or prospect, fell out of that and that area, and Bo Nix was drafted by the Broncos, and they trade up to take him with the first pick in the 4th round. So he's a guy that also falls into the category of maybe going way below where people expected him to go. Same thing with like Xavier Restrepo in that sense of maybe people thought Restrepo was going to be a 5th round, 6th round pick, ends up going undrafted there. So
right,
also
but your point is that Franklin's being maximized in a way right now that
I'm getting there.
We're doubtful he would be anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Just kind of setting the scene of what Xavier Restrepo is right now. And so you have Troy Franklin last year, who, if I bring it back up, it was this idea that in a full sample size last year, when Bo Nix was playing pretty well and distributing a lot, I believe he caught around 30 catches on 50 targets for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. So not the best production there, but you look at what's happening this year, and this is where I'm getting to, like you said, this your point, how he's maximizing a pretty bad Bo Nix right now. I mean, Troy Franklin, for all intensive purposes.
How dare you? Did you not hear what the Broncos all said on primetime television?
Oh,
they don't care if you're a coward if you talk about Bo Nix on the internet. That's what they said. Coward.
Yeah. So you look at what Troy Franklin is doing this year for all intents and purposes right now. They are really getting the best out of him, in which Bo Nix is not having he's not having a great season. And so could that be the same thing for Cam here, where Cam is struggling a little bit, but then is able to find that his Troy Franklin basically this week and throughout the rest of the season? At this point, it's worth the try. Now, will it happen? I'm still skeptical because, like you said, the injuries that we need to happen still need to happen, and those all need to fall into place. But I'd like to see it happen.
So that's one example, but it is an example that the slight difference here is Bo Nix and Troy Franklin. There was no break in between when they got reps together in college and when they got reps together in the NFL. And a lot of that has to do with the practice reps that we're talking about here, right? There's a comment that I want to show here in a minute and respond to because it sparked another comparison in my mind that I think is pretty interesting and maybe a little bit telling. But first, let me real quick tell everyone about our friends at Botero Carts. Life is short. You should go buy a golf cart with our friends at Botero Carts. They offer 0% financing for 36 months on carts starting at just under $6,800. They're locally owned and operated. They're a full-service sales and rental dealership, so support a local business that is open 7 days a week with either of their locations that serve you in Columbia and in Gallatin, Tennessee. Wherever you are in the Middle Tennessee area, there's a Botero Carts dealership near you. They offer no dealer fees, no credit card fees, even a no credit needed option if that's something that you're interested in. So check them out. Life is short. Buy a golf cart and do it with our friends at Botero Carts.
Yeah, so shout out our friends once again, BTA Sports. You can use that code when you download the app, AtoZSports, to get the 14-day free trial, $79.99. After that, BTA Sports, where insight meets instinct.
JT, you and I famously had an argument on a prior show of ours that was rather insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but we got really up in arms over backup quarterbacks. Do you remember who your favorite backup quarterback was in that conversation? McCorkle Jones, that's right. Mac Jones is the guy that comes to mind when I see this comment right here. How can they still have chemistry when X practices with the second team, right? They haven't had reps together since meaningful practice reps outside of their own training since Miami, since months and months ago. But I think back to the first part of this year when, I guess after the first month of this year, when Mac Jones comes in and has to play for the 49ers and he's playing in primetime against the Rams, and it's like, who is going to be this guy's guy? It turns out Kendrick Bourne is his guy. Why? Well, because they have a developed rapport from their time together in New England, which was years ago at this point. But they picked up where they left off. And, I mean, with that first game, Kendrick Bourne had, like, 10 receptions for 170 yards or something. Now, that's not going to be the Xavier Restrepo scene at all.
That's a little bit high, but I think I get the point, yeah.
Right,
It was decent.
Yeah. Restrepo will have half of that, obviously. 5 receptions and 80 yards. My point being, chemistry is something, there's a little bit of a riding a bike element to it where you kind of pick up where you left off, I think. And that it's like relationships in life where you can just pick up with your high school buddy, even though you haven't talked to each other in 5 years or whatever it is. there is, and obviously it's different for these guys because like Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne were physically separated for years. They were on the same team. They didn't they were away. Restrepo and Cam have been on the same team this whole time. They just have been doing different things in the actual structured practice periods. Now, this week, I think we're going to see more of Restrepo based on what you guys talked about yesterday with him being all over the Titans practice plans, and yesterday him, not wearing a scout team number, but wearing his own number. So he's playing. I think that he's going to get called up. I'll go ahead and say that now. I expect him to get the practice squad call up this weekend, and we can talk through why that is here in a second. But JT, anything more on this before we talk through the smartest plan for the Titans at receiver this weekend?
Yeah, it's just hard for me to. We talk about the Troy Franklin of it all. We talk about the Kendrick Bourne of it all. Those are guys who can stretch the field, and those are guys who can play a lot more downfield and with more separation. And those are guys who have the game speed to get downfield fast. It's such a different conversation with a guy like Xavier Restrepo, where yes, he is quick in his movements and probably could. That's the thing, right? We're going to talk about this week that if, let's say the Seattle Seahawks go up by 17 in the first quarter because they just unload, and we're starting with garbage time and soft zone coverage, in the middle of the second quarter here, Xavier Restrepo has an opportunity to feast and look like that because it's soft zone and he's just going to make 3 moves and sit in the zone and Cam's going to throw him the ball kind of. So and that's going to stat pad there. It's not one of those things where in that 49ers game, which keeps them in it because Mac Jones is dealing to Kendrick Bourne and they're making plays down the field and he's getting yards after the catch and he is basically they're being a 2-man offense. That's not going to happen this week against the Seahawks. And so I think chemistry, and goes back to my answer of a 6, chemistry can only get you so far.
Agreed. So let's ask the final question, and the question that I think is going to set up our argument for what the Titans should do in terms of the plan at wide receiver this weekend. I'll send it in the chat now. What is the smartest way the Titans can handle their wide receiver injury situation versus the Seahawks? Now, this involves Xavier Restrepo, and obviously involves the other 2 rookies, the guys that are actually starters on this team, Jim Dike and Alec Iamaner. What is this, and answer this however you all would like, the smartest way the Titans can handle their wide receiver injury situation versus the Seahawks? Again, Jim Dike, chest contusion, but was a full participant in practice on Wednesday. Alec Iamaner, a hamstring, was not at practice on Wednesday. And those are 2 guys that really are going to dictate whether or not, and also how much of Xavier Restrepo we see. While you all are answering that question, real quick, I'll tell you about our friends at the Bone and Joint Institute. In fact, JT, why don't you tell our friends about the Bone and Joint Institute?
Alrighty. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics is the Bone and Joint Institute. Whenever you get hurt in life, or as me and Austin were talking, whenever you get a chest contusion in life, you got to know who to trust. Right. Jim Dike obviously trusts the Titans, but we trust the Bone and Joint Institute, which is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you get through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery. And they can do everything under one roof for your convenience, whether that's the clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, rehab. They've got it all. To schedule an appointment at their main facility or at one of their satellite locations, got to go to boneandjointtn.org.
We're also brought to you by AtoZSports. Better for bettors. Check them out using the link in the description below. Use the promo codes in the description below to get your monthly or your annual pass to AtoZSports. That app is something that you will not regret signing up for. If you are a serious bettor, it will make you an even more serious bettor. It'll make you a more profitable bettor, and that's what the name of the game is. You'll make your money back with AtoZSports. JT, I'll send to the chat. We asked the question, what is the smartest way the Titans can handle their wide receiver injury situation versus the Seahawks? What are people saying?
Well, Christophel says straight up, just don't show up to the game. So That's the smartest way.
Forfeit.
Rob Nell says by using 2 tight end sets, which I think this is an interesting conversation that we can.
It's dominating the league. Big old 12 and 13 personnel conversations going on right now.
Tall Texan just says sign 7 guys from good teams and release all of their own wide receivers. So,
okay.
Think big there. Run the ball 60 times.
Well, with how well they ran the ball last weekend, that means you will net 70 yards.
Yes. Nick says rest DK versus Seattle's defense. Rest guys who are banged up. We have one win and need them next season. Don't make them crash dummies. I think that's
where your head's at, Corey.
nice way there to describe it. Resting all wide receivers and just run the ball 100% of the game. Save Cam's arm and save the receivers from injury.
Now that's crazy.
Curtis says, all I'm saying is we have no weapons here. We already know Callie isn't as good at play calling as Kubiak was, I guess.
This guy's frozen in time.
Yes.
I've got some
Bork
news
says
for him.
run the ball
news.
70% of the time and pray. Eric says just don't play Kinsey ever again.
Okay.
Use the tight ends more. I assume Brandon Cooks, who I think he's on a professional roster with the Saints.
No,
right now.
he just got released. Did you
Oh,
miss
did
this
he?
Breaking
No,
news.
I missed this. So
yeah, he's now. I don't think he got released from the Saints to join the Titans. I feel pretty good about
Hey,
that. But
I don't know. Revenge
No,
game, week
I'm pretty sure I
17.
know.
Week
sure I
17
know.
revenge game. Yeah. So I think we're getting to a lot of these answers here. Get to your point of how much does it really matter for these, like how much development and growth can you see from these guys against the Seattle team in a game where maybe there are opportunities against soft zone and in a lot of garbage time, like we are projecting this game to be. However, is that real growth? I don't think so. I think that's just getting out there to get out there, right? And so is it even worth it at this point?
Right. This is my argument, is that I think the Titans doing the right thing for themselves. The win-win-win here is take this opportunity against a team that's going to throttle you. Like the Seahawks are going, you and I were talking about this yesterday. They're 13.5-point road dogs, the Seahawks are. They're coming off a loss to maybe the best team in the NFL right now. They themselves are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. In that loss, they only lost by 2 despite throwing 4 interceptions, which is kind of a weird testament in its own right to how ridiculously powerful this team is. And before last weekend, they had kind of spent a month building up a reputation of not just killing teams, but killing them immediately. Like from the first snap, making it clear that this is not a competition. You and I know this because on Sundays, we would be at the Landshark Bar and Grill with the local Seahawkers fan club, and they all apparently are big into the cowbell culture. And every time the Seahawks would do something good, they'd go crazy with the cowbells. And so all we'd hear, the Saints would be playing the Seahawks, and the Seahawks would win 470-0, and it was just constant cowbell all day long. They are really good at stomping on your neck immediately. And that's why a random bet I'll give out here. I have not loved a weird side like this in a long time, but the Seahawks are currently, their team total first half is 13.5 points. I love the Seahawks to score 2 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, I love the Seahawks to score 4 touchdowns in the first half. Listen, the Titans defense has been scrappy, and I don't think they're going to roll over by any means, but I have seen the Seahawks this year score 35 points in the first 20 minutes too many times to think that they won't get 2 touchdowns in the first 30 minutes of the game. And this is why you should expect in this game to have, as you pointed out earlier, a lot of garbage time, right? A lot of opportunity to get out there and have Cam Ward play against some softer defenses and maybe run some drives that aren't super important in the grand scheme of things. That's an opportunity, if I've ever heard one, to play a guy like Xavier Restrepo, to rip the Band-Aid off, to give the people what they want, to get yourselves as the Titans an eval on a guy that you haven't, I mean, you've internally evaluated him, but let's see what he can do on a field with his guy. Let's see if some of those chemistry intangibles show themselves and can make up for his physical shortcomings, his lack of diversity, ability to be a diverse receiver, all of these things. And then the other element of it is the receivers that you have that you want to actually be a part of your future in Chim Dike and Elikai Manor. Those are guys that are important to get reps down the stretch of this season. And we're still kind of figuring out just how banged up each of them are, but it's clear that no matter what, even if they both are full go this weekend, they're still both banged up in some capacity. And against a team that I'm expecting to kill you and the game to not really matter a whole lot, I don't understand the point of making them, as one of our commenters wisely said, crash test dummies and jeopardizing the rest of their season. They're going to have 6 games after this one that I expect to kind of all be more competitive than this one, to be honest with you. I think the Seahawks are the best team remaining on the Titans' entire schedule. In terms of, at least in terms of, well, yeah, I think the best. I think just the best.
Yeah,
I thought about it. I decided just the best.
Chiefs are on there, so that
yeah.
might
You know what? I'm counting them out. The Titans are playing the best team remaining on their schedule this weekend in the Seahawks. Especially when you're getting regular season Sam Darnold. So maybe not postseason Sam Darnold, but regular season Sam Darnold. So that's my rant, is take the opportunity to rest the guys that matter for the future, play the guy this weekend that probably doesn't matter for the future, give the people what they want, get your own internal evaluation on the guy, give the guy a shot, give him a chance, make Cam happy for getting his guy out there, and get killed by the team that's going to kill you.
So here's the problem with that. So I get it. I do still think that Jim DK does play. I think because we talk about how Wednesday practices don't really matter, but I feel like that argument would be more so in favor of that being true if he was limited yesterday. The fact that he was already full yesterday tells me that I think it is just a pain tolerance. And so how much does he play in that game is a fair question, but you kind of, as much as I understand that thinking, you kind of need one of those two out there, because if you have Van Jefferson out wide, James Prochet I don't even know who you'd put out wide between the X and Z, between James Prochet and Van Jefferson. I don't know.
I mean, you're playing Jefferson wide. You got
to. Prochet in the Z, and then mixing in Kinsey between the slot and the Z, and Restrepo at the slot. You still then have to bring up yet another person right there. And that's why I think even if they get killed, DK needs to be out there, because then it still gives you the opportunity to have Restrepo up. And then there's the argument of, okay, so if DK's up, maybe he doesn't. I think there is also a world where DK is up and he doesn't return punts this week, plays more offensive snaps.
I would have Prochet do it. Yeah.
And have Prochet or Kinsey or whoever you want returning punts and kicks, because that also will help with the pain tolerance, and have DK, who you need right now to just be a receiver and not a returner, be a receiver with his injury and where they are in this game. So I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think you need both to be true in that you need DK out there regardless. And also it is an opportunity for Xavier Restrepo to get up.
And that's my final point on this. I think that is what it is. Like, if Iamaner is out, which I kind of think that he will be, or I think he should be at this point, take a week. If DK is in but limited, then you have Van, Mason, Prochet, limited DK. That's 4 guys. You need a 5th or a 6th. I honestly would consider maybe keeping 6 guys up this week, just because you don't know how much of Jim DK you're going to get.
Here's another thought. Like, what's stopping them from doing kind of what they did last week and just kind of putting Chig out wide?
And that's what flashed through my head when you said, well, they can't just do what they did last week. Well, they did have the best drive of the entire day, running
even
Chig
with
as a
DK
receiver,
up there. Like,
largely.
if you want to talk about that for a second, like, I wouldn't be surprised, because it worked. It was the one thing that worked. Is like,
true.
Who would have thought letting the big athletic guy who we've always said is a wide receiver tight end hybrid be a wide receiver tight end hybrid? Wow,
it did work. You're right.
Insane.
You're right about that.
Crazy.
So maybe you know what? Just keep Restrepo down and just let Chig do all the stuff. Why not?
Well, hey, that's not what I'm saying.
Chig Okonkwo, 13 reception, 210 yard day, 4 touchdowns.
I mean, I'd love that, but yeah. So
I think we've exhausted this conversation. I have nothing else to say. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't, but
Okay.
an impromptu question that I think we continue to bring up here for sure on this show. What is we talked about this line being 13.5 this
Okay.
week. We talked about how the over under on the first half total for the Seahawks is 13.5 right there. So, and we, for all intents and purposes, have said that this game is going to be a bloodbath. What is the line you'd be feel comfortable taking the Titans to cover this week?
Well, let me do some research. Let's pull up the
Okay.
Seahawks games this year.
And we
We
can,
have
and
time.
the chat can also get involved here. For me, I think it's like, it probably is the biggest one
Ever?
that I've said all year. Give me 25.5.
Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's
Rob says 25. Jacob says 20, 22.5. Joshua says 17.5.
so all right. They opened with a loss to the 49ers. They beat the Steelers by 15.
Cap says 30.5.
They beat the Steelers
Titans
by
total points under 15.
They beat the Steelers by 2 touchdowns. They beat the Saints by 31 points. 31 points. They beat the Saints. They beat the Cardinals by 3, which I'd forgotten that game happened.
Yes.
They lost to the Buccaneers by 3. They beat the Jaguars by 8. They beat the Texans by 8. They beat the Commanders like a drum by 18. By 24. Then they beat the Cardinals the second time around by 22. They just lost to the Rams. And again, in all of these, what's more important is how many points the other team is scoring against them, right? Because let's just do how many points the Seahawks have scored. They have scored 13, 31, 44, 23, 35, 20, 27, 38, 44, 19. A lot of 30s and 40s in there. So a big part of this is not just how many they beat these teams by, but these other teams scored 17, 17, 13, 20, 38, 12, 19, 14, 22, 21. Do those sound like scores that you've seen on the Titans side of the ledger much this year?
No. And that's my point, right? You look at, they beat the Saints by 31.
That Saints game is what I'm expecting this to be. That's the one that keeps coming back in my head, is the Saints game.
Because also, I think the Titans, when we get to that matchup, it'll probably be like it'll be a pick 'em, right? And so I'd feel comfortable taking the Titans at 25.5. That's where I'm gonna put it around
25.5.
And looking back, if you're expecting that Saints game, that feels like right around where it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I might take the Titans just because of my betting sensibilities if you gave me 21.5.
21.5
with some garbage time. But
Fair enough.
in that Saints game, it's not just that they scored 44 points. It's that they scored 38 of them in the first half. The Seahawks had 38 points at halftime. That's why I love Seahawks over. I'm going to go back after this show and see how many weeks this year have the Seahawks scored at least 14 points in the first half. Most of them. I feel comfortable saying most of them. So I don't think they're going to change against the Titans.
You want to get to Super Chat real quick?
Super Chat and then Sport Trivia. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But first, let's tell our friends about Barton Jury Insurance Group. Barton Jury Insurance Group is the truly one-stop shop for both your personal and business insurance with over 40 years of serving Tennesseans. Austin and Zach felt really good about their buying experience from Barton Jury. There were a number of different options and plans. The responsiveness and the experience with the service team was really good, and they felt that there was a great level of expertise there. They sell every type of insurance thing that you could possibly imagine: employee benefits, 401k planning, life insurance, workers' comp, liability, auto, property, umbrella, surety bonds. They have it all. They're also local and strive to provide excellent service, but also they want to take the time to make sure you understand your insurance policies. Once again, if you want to call or inquire about a quote, you can call that number right there, 615-806-1265.
All right. We are also brought to you by BTA Sports, by the way. Better for bettors. Use the link in the description below to get a discount on the annual or the monthly subscription, depending on what you are interested in. But you will make money more efficiently against sportsbooks if you use our friends at BTA Sports. Download that app today. Now, JT. Super chat. Yes.
Let's see. This is from Richard Jr. Richard
Okay.
Jr., I guess. I think the Titans need offensive tackle, wide receiver, and defensive tackle in 2026 NFL draft. Plus, I think rookies need to work harder before being ready.
Okay, the news, rookies aren't working hard enough. That's number one. Number two, I think you're leaving some things off the list here. Actually, offensive tackle isn't at the top of my list of things they need, to be honest with you. I think they definitely need receiver. Defensive tackle, also not at the top of my list. I would say they need receiver. They need
Edge.
They need
cornerback.
They could use help at linebacker. Did I mention edge? Did I mention receiver?
Need help at running back.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Yes. 100%.
They need another tight end when they move off
Probably.
of Jig.
Yep.
And they
So
also need help at wide receiver. Did we say wide receiver?
And edge, I believe we should mention as well.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. So,
anyways, thanks for the super chat, Richard. Let's get to some sports trivia. How did yesterday's sports trivia go?
Really well. We finished 3 seconds over the over, and that was because Austin's slow typing is slow. So
well, let's endeavor to beat the over under today. It's time for sports trivia. Shout out to our friends at WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I'm pretty sure I started that too early. Make them part of your new car buying process at WilsonCountyHyundai.com or in person in Lebanon. All right, JT, let me go ahead and pull up my...
I saw Orlando in the chat, but I did not see an over-under, nor have I seen our friend Ann, who was lights out on some of the trivia yesterday. So we're working with a disadvantage.
Take days off. Wednesdays and Thursdays are full-time for you, Ann. You got to be around.
4.5. Don't disappoint me again, says Orlando.
All right.
Great.
No
Ready?
pressure. Hang on. And go for it. All right. We've got college football. We've got college basketball.
Not good. That's terrible for me.
It's not good for me either. So we need the chat to lock in.
Yeah.
We need your help. We need the
We need
college
to lock in.
hoop
Like
heads.
the show, please, as well. So.
Yes, please. All right. Y'all know the deal. Let's start with NFL. Go counterclockwise, end with celebrity mashup. And 4.5 minutes is the mark to beat, of course, trying to go perfect. NFL. This current day AFC North team had the lowest winning percentage in the NFL from 1990 to 1999.
It's the Bungles.
The Bungles.
The Bungles.
You feel good about that one?
Yeah.
Riga is the capital of this European city that is the original home of NBA player Kristaps Porzingis. I only know Riga really from Monopoly.
I have no idea.
I mean, I know it's like Eastern Bloc Europe, right?
Sure. I'm going to go.
Is it like it's like Luxembourg or Hungary, Lithuania? That sounds
yeah,
right.
that's probably right.
Nope.
Oh.
Thanks for nothing. This CBS reality show has won the Emmy for Most Outstanding Reality Competition Series record 10 times. It's got to be Survivor. Record? CBS? Come on.
Yeah, probably. No. Wow.
What could it be? That's crazy.
Big Brother, probably.
Stupid. I hate reality TV.
This is
Younger versions
terrible.
of Charles Xavier, Magneto, and Mystique, played by James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence, were introduced in this 2011 X-Men film. What's that called? I know the movie. Hang on.
Days of Future Past or whatever.
Is that
Isn't
what
I feel like it's called something like that.
Is it X-Men? Are we dumb?
First Class?
Which one is it though?
First Class or Days of Future Past?
People are saying First Class. Okay, cool. Made for the 2010 World Cup, the song Waka Waka, This Time for America, had what lead singer as the main artist? Yes, indeed. Chain restaurants. As of October 2025, McDonald's is currently offering a limited time McFlurry and McFrapper. Never heard of that. With what cookie or snack brand does the add in? Man, I ain't going to fast food places like this. I don't know.
I mean, well, don't they always have an Oreo McFlurry?
Yes, that's not new.
Okay.
That's
So-
what is a McFrapper? Has anyone heard of that?
Frapper. I think it's McFrappe. I think is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, did they just put it in wrong?
People are saying Subway.
It's
that's not
Christopher. It's crazy right
Chips
now.
Ahoy? That sounds right.
Sure. I mean, this is all a guess on my part. Should we go Chips Ahoy? Hershey's?
I think so. It's a snack
Cookie.
brand. It's a cookie.
Chips Ahoy. Nice. Okay. College basketball. This Duke big man got to play alongside two of his brothers during his tenure from 2009 to 2013, and he was a 2013 All-American. I have no idea.
Nope. No clue.
Two of his brothers. Duke big man. I know there's some Duke basketball heads in the chat. Come on.
I hope there are.
There's got to be. Bueller?
Wait, no one knows. No idea.
The chat just disappeared.
Marcus Morris?
I mean,
it's good old Bob Smith. Who? Curry? No.
Plumlee? Not a big man and not from Duke, but otherwise, nice try.
Boozer?
Dude, I have no clue.
Go Boozer.
Carlos?
There's more people saying Plumlee. Go Plummel, whatever his name. Plumlee.
Oh, there's multiple Plumleys. Which one is it?
Marshall.
Which one's the big man? Marshall? Nope, it's one of the other Plumleys.
Okay,
Nice.
Miles. Okay,
Sick.
Nice.
The Iron Bowl is the annual right.
Okay.
Thank you. Alabama and Auburn. They threw us a total layup there. Sick. And the celeb mashup. On the outside, that's Jesse Plemons, I think.
Sure.
Pretty sure. On the inside, Orlando is so right. We asked this morning. Who's that woman?
Kind of looks like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire. Kind of does.
Anna Kendrick?
This is not Anna Kendrick.
No.
Looks like Ellen.
This woman has a
Jane Lynch. I was gonna say Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch, sure. I don't think it's actually right, but that seems reasonable.
This is a surrender.
stinker.
This is a surrender run.
Hey, we were right about that.
Hey, we were right. Okay.
What do we
want to? So let's do Latvia because Jeff continues to scream Latvia.
All right, Latvia. Sick. Man,
Okay.
celeb mashup. No one got that one, so I guess we get some moral wins on that one. The Amazing Race. That's all right. Well,
who watches The Amazing Race?
Apparently, a ton of people.
Okay.
It was Mason.
Mason.
Was that
so
what
not
the chat
even
was saying?
Miles?
Not even Miles. Nope. We were all wrong on which Plumlee it is.
As Orlando says, we're
Sick.
keeping it a buck today.
Yeah, that was really bad.
It's kind of like this is a good metaphor for the Titans. Yesterday we were playing it close. We played a competitive first half of trivia this week.
Yeah, this is
Just
how the Seahawks game is going to go. This right here.
3 seconds over the 3 seconds over the over under yesterday. Feeling good at the halftime of trivia this week, and then in the second half we ass. We just can't do anything. So
what a joke. All right, well. That's the show.
Yeah, the Knicks. He thought it was Latvia. I thought he said he didn't know it was Latvia. So,
It was. So good job. It'll be Austin and I tomorrow. We'll be talking about something. You know what? We won't be talking about Xavier Restrepo. So if you hated that, it'll be new today. I promise. New tomorrow. I promise. For JTM Easton. Have a great rest of your Thursday.